So I'm talking with Jazz today. Hi, Jazz.
Hello.
And we are talking about our pre-question before module 4 of Cooking from Scratch with young children. And it's all about favourite dinners. So Jazz, tell me, what's your favourite dinner and what kind of things you need to make it?
So my favorite dinner is a savory Japanese pancake dish.
Ah.
So it's called Okonomiyaki. So the meaning of it means like the first part means what you like or what you want, and the second part means like grilled and cooked. So it's a very literal dish.
Oh, wow. Just
And
cook what you like.
pretty much there's some like base ingredients for it, but you can pretty much add what you want depending on your preferences, I guess.
Oh, nice.
It's kind of one of those lovely pancake dishes like that. The main ingredients that I use, I have had to adapt this into a bit of a vegan dish. So what I use is cabbage, flour, flaxseed, water, and mushrooms. Those are the main ones.
Yeah.
So about 5 ingredients.
Yeah.
And then I have some sauces and toppings as well. So it's usually like a creamy sauce and a sweet sauce, so like a vegan mayo, and then like a kind of sweet Worcestershire sauce. Sometimes like a mixture of like ketchup and sugar and things. It's a bit of a nice mixture, so like a bit of sweet and savoury.
And it's all go in the one big bowl. So because I'm thinking about thinking pakoras, it sounds a bit like how you might make pakora as well, which is essentially just a pancake that's in a big lump.
Yeah, it's just essentially one big pot, chuck it in, mix it in, and then you pour it into the pan, spread it out a bit like a pancake just so the toppings don't get lost when you're frying it. Then you cover it for about 3 minutes, flip it over, and then the fun bit is the toppings, because you're meant to do it in like a zigzag on top.
Ah.
You do like a little zigzag mayo and then a little zigzag kind of like sweet sauce, and then it's a nice little sweet savory pancake, I guess.
Oh, that sounds really exciting. So when we talked in training, obviously you already really like this recipe, and it just seems like it's a session waiting to happen, frankly. What came up, because we do a lot in this module about planning a recipe, about breaking stuff down. So what came up for you about your particular favorite dinner and how you might break it down, or what you might do with it?
I think it was just around some of the practical and logistical parts in terms of breaking it down, like going through each ingredient, what down through the stages, and what part things would probably need to be like taken out and chopped, and which would probably be the most important thing to do first. Like if I was thinking about this dish, you would start with the cabbage and the shredding, and like I think there's lots of different ways you could shred cabbage and shred mushrooms as well that could be thought about. There's all these different methods you could look into, rather than sometimes just chopping it with a big knife. There could be some really interesting and fun ways, and I think it's great having that big bowl as well, just flying through the stages to make sure that everything's kind of set up and organized in a way that's kind of structured really well, and all the utensils are kind of thought about, and all the health and safety as well.
Yeah.
Because there's a little bit of frying and stuff as well that I think I'd have to think about when prepping and planning this kind of recipe.
Yeah, because the pancake thing feels like, on the face of it, it's just, oh, okay, well, that's quite a lot for frying of a pancake. So maybe that's not a great thing for kids to be involved in. But that whole idea of kind of, throwing all these lovely ingredients into a bowl, taking ages chopping them, and then and also the lovely squeezing of sauces and mixing sauces and shaking all the sauces, sort of making the sauces this sort of the excitement of it is a really good idea. Can you tell me the name of it again so I can go and look it up and eat it for my lunch?
It's okonomiyaki.
Okonomiyaki. Okonomiyaki. Okonomiyaki. I'm sure my pronunciation is pretty bad. That's great. Thank you, Jazz, and thanks for joining us on the training. You can find out more about how we break things up into small tasks and ingredients, etc., in our module for planning a recipe for group cooking.